Welcome back. In our previous lesson, we covered the basics of cybersecurity, what it is, the common threats, and how you can protect yourself online. Now, in this lesson, we're going to look ahead. The digital landscape is constantly evolving, and unfortunately, so are the threats that come with it. Cybercriminals never take a break, which means we have to stay on top of new and emerging threats. Today, we're going to explore the top 5 cyber threats in 2024 and, more importantly, give you practical tips on how to defend against them. Think of this lesson as your cybersecurity crystal ball, except instead of predicting your love life, we're predicting what hackers might be up to and how you can stay a step ahead. Ready? Let's dive in. 1. Ransomware, evolving and still dangerous. First, we have ransomware. Yep, ransomware is still hanging around, and in 2024, it's more sophisticated than ever. Hackers are using more advanced techniques to infect systems, encrypt data, and demand a ransom for its return. What's even scarier? They're not just targeting large companies. They're going after individuals and small businesses more frequently, knowing that they may not have the resources to recover easily. So, how do you defend against this digital hostage situation? The best way to protect yourself is to keep regular backups of your important files, ideally on an external hard drive or a cloud service that isn't connected to your main system. This way, if you're ever hit by ransomware, you won't be forced to pay a ransom because you already have a clean copy of your data. Also, keep your software up to date because ransomware often takes advantage of security holes in outdated programs. And remember, if a ransom note pops up demanding money, don't panic. Contact cybersecurity professionals or law enforcement for help. Next up, we have AI-enhanced phishing. Cybercriminals are now using artificial intelligence to create more convincing phishing emails, texts, and even phone calls. In the past, you could often spot a phishing email because it had spelling mistakes or looked sketchy. But now, AI is helping attackers create flawless and highly personalized messages that look incredibly legit. Imagine getting an email that looks like it's from your boss, complete with their usual tone, signature, and even the type of requests they usually make. That's what we're dealing with here in 2024, phishing attacks that are harder to detect because they seem so authentic. To protect yourself, never click on links or download attachments from unexpected emails, even if it looks like it's from someone you know. If something seems off, double check with the sender using a different communication method, like calling them or sending a separate message. And again, two-factor authentication, 2FA, can be a lifesaver here because even if a hacker tricks you into giving away your password, they still won't be able to access your account without that second layer of security. 3. Supply chain attacks, breaking in through the back door. Moving on to supply chain attacks. These attacks involve targeting vulnerabilities in a company's suppliers or vendors to gain access to their systems. You might be thinking, I'm not a business. Why does this matter to me? Well, the reason this affects individuals is because supply chain attacks can compromise the software and hardware we all rely on. In 2024, cybercriminals are focusing on attacking widely used software companies or hardware manufacturers, knowing that if they can breach one trusted supplier, they can potentially infiltrate thousands of systems downstream, including yours. The best way to protect yourself from these kinds of attacks is to only download software or updates from official and trusted sources. Avoid installing programs from third-party websites, and always keep your devices and applications updated with the latest security patches. And if you hear about a major supply chain attack in the news, pay attention. Sometimes companies will release specific guidance to help protect their customers. The Internet of Things, or IoT for short, those smart thermostats, light bulbs, fridges, and even doorbells that make our homes more convenient. The only problem? Many of these devices don't come with robust security features, making them easy targets for hackers. In 2024, cybercriminals are increasingly targeting IT devices to gain access to your home network. Imagine your smart doorbell being hacked, giving someone access to your Wi-Fi network and, from there, potentially all your connected devices. Scary stuff, right? To stay safe, you should change the default passwords on all your IoT devices as soon as you set them up. Also, make sure to regularly update the firmware on these devices and consider setting up a separate guest network for your IoT devices. That way, even if one device is compromised, your main devices, like your computer and phone, stay protected. 5. Deepfake scans. Seeing isn't always believing. Last but not least, we have deepfake scans. Now, deepfakes are AI generated videos or audio recordings that can make it seem like someone is saying or doing something they never actually did. In 2024, we're seeing a rise in deepfakes being used for scams, whether it's impersonating a CEO to authorize a fraudulent transaction or faking a family member's voice to trick someone into sending money. The line between real and fake is getting blurrier by the day, and it's becoming harder to distinguish fact from fiction. To avoid falling for these kinds of scams, always be skeptical of unexpected requests, especially if they involve money or sensitive information. If you receive a suspicious video call or voice message, verify it through a different method, like calling the person directly. And remember, no legitimate company or individual will ever pressure you to make a snap decision, especially involving money. So, how do we stay safe in this ever evolving landscape of cyber threats? Let's quickly recap. Ransomware is still dangerous. Back up your data regularly and keep software updated. AI enhanced phishing makes scams more convincing. Be skeptical of unexpected messages and use two factor authentication. Supply chain attacks affect everyone. Download software only from trusted sources and stay informed about potential threats. IoT vulnerabilities put your home network at risk. Change default passwords and keep smart devices updated. Deepfake scams are rising. Always verify unexpected requests before taking action. That wraps up our look at the top cyber threats in 2024. As you can see, cybercriminals are getting more creative, but that doesn't mean you have to live in constant fear. By staying informed and following some basic security practices, you can drastically reduce your risk of falling victim to these threats. In the next module, we'll shift gears and focus on defending against cyber attacks with a deep dive into ransomware prevention and other practical steps you can take to protect your systems. Until then, stay safe, stay savvy, and remember, being aware is your first line of defense.